Okay, so working on the Chevelle Turbo LS build, and here is an ethanol sensor. So it tests the content of the ethanol in the fuel, and I plan on adjusting the tune based off the ethanol content. Obviously, around here, E10 is pump gas, and then we also have E85. So anyway, I need to make a little bracket for this guy. Okay, so what I did is I designed this 3D printed part, and what it's going to do is it's going to attach to one of the fuel rail bolts. Okay, and then this guy will go on top. Okay, just like so. Okay, so I just kind of made it like that. Okay, now what I want to do is on the back side here is I want to put in some inserts. Okay, so these are inserts for plastic, and they are supposed to be applied or inserted with heat. Okay, so I want to show you a cool little trick that I do with a soldering iron. This thing is off right now, but basically what you do is you just take a soldering iron just like this. It heats up the insert, and you just put a little force down, and it'll just drop right in. It melts the plastic right around the insert. You take it out, it cools, and then you got a 3D printed part with inserts. Okay, now the infill on this guy is 20%, but what I did is I bumped up the wall thickness to 6 layers. Okay, so you see this, see these rings here? So it's 6 rings instead of 2, which is default. So that's going to be a nice thick plastic solid piece here. So that'll be pretty strong. Okay, but the rest of this here is pretty hollow. But hey, this part is going to be just fine for just holding this little sensor here. Okay, another thing, these are made by Stanley, I believe, or Dodge. So I went on their website, and there's actually a specific hole size that you need, and there's a chamfer or some draft for a little bit in here. It's like 8 degrees, you know, just so you can get the guy started. Okay, so I followed the design guidelines for the inserts. Okay, so now let me heat up my iron, and we'll just melt them right in place. All right, so I just have these set up. Here's a hot iron, and my tip is freaking bent to, I really need a new iron. But anyway, so I just use gentle pressure. Just obviously the heat has to transfer. It's going slowly. This iron doesn't get that hot, and the tip doesn't have a good contact with the insert, but it's going. Okay, it's all the way in. Now, see, it wants to come back out, so you're just gonna have to keep pushing it down. And it'll come out a little bit. Another way you can do it, I imagine, is get a really long bolt, hold it with vice grips, and just hold this away from the part and just heat it up with a blowtorch and just jam it in. I mean, that would work too. And there's a little ridge that forms. You can scrape that off if that's going to bother you, but I'm actually putting the bolts in from the other side. So the pull strength on these inserts is going to be good, because that's actually what you want. You don't want to pull the same direction as you insert. Alright, good enough for me. So we'll let that cool for a few minutes. Okay, sometimes on the other side, the plastic kind of bunches up in here, so I went in here with an X-Acto knife and just cut some of it out. Okay, it just depends how tight the hole is and whatnot. Alright, so this guy's done. This will bolt to the car first, and then I will bolt the sensor down. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so this bracket here is going to sit right here. It's going to use this existing fuel rail hole. So the bracket goes on first. Okay, that's nice and sturdy there. Drop this guy on here. So this is the oil feed. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that, but you can see I got the fuel line here, so I'm going to have to terminate here, and then it's going to go back around to the other side for the inlet. But this is a nice spot for it. I'll be able to plug in the harness right here, so it's just clean, and yeah, 3D print for the win, man. So yeah, if you guys don't have a 3D printer, man, it is just a lifesaver in all aspects of things, man. You can think of all kinds of stuff to print, and it makes functional parts.